Hi, I'm Sarah Hurd, and I will be informing you on the topic of why the brain is so important. So, the human brain is incredibly complex. It functions as the coordinating center of sensational, intellectual, and nervous activity. Without it, you and I would not be who we are today. We would not show emotion, intent, or even be able to think or move. This is just one of the amazing functions of our brain. So there are three major parts of the brain: the cerebrum, cerebellum, and brainstem, which all share importance in helping make up a person's thoughts, actions, personality, and life itself. So the cerebrum is made of the frontal, temporal, parental, and occupational lobes. As you can see in this illustration, it makes up most of the brain. And each of the lobes have specific functions that are extremely important to who we are. So the frontal lobe is associated with reasoning, planning, parts of speech, movement, emotions, and problem solving. The parental lobe is associated with movement, orientation, recognition, and perception of stimuli. This is a portion of the brain that can also help you create new memories and navigate your way around any place that you've ever been. For example, it's the part of your brain that can help you know your way home from your school. So then your temporal lobe is associated with the perception and recognition of auditory stimuli, memory, and speech. So it helps you recognize and respond to people speaking to you and what they do. It's pretty much a big part of actual public speaking because whenever you're listening to a speech, you use this part of your brain to listen to someone and be able to respond to them and comprehend everything that's going on. So then some additional information about this part of the brain is that it is highly wrinkled. As you can see, those little wrinkles right there, those actually serve to make the brain more efficient because it increases the surface area and the amount of neurons within it. So each of those folds, the neurons are the nerve cell in the brain that transmit impulses throughout electricity, and that kind of helps you process information. It pretty much makes up everything that goes on in your brain. So even down to the last cell, brains are perfectly designed to where you can function with everything that you encounter in life. So then there are two hemispheres in this cerebrum. The hemispheres look mostly symmetrical, so it's just the right and the left. But each side functions slightly different than the other. Sometimes the right hemisphere has been known to be associated with creativity, and the left hemisphere associated with logical abilities and thinking. So, for example, if you might be dominant with the right side of your brain, you might be a good artist or a great writer or a creative thinker. And whenever you're more dominant with the left side of your brain, you might be better at subjects such as math or science. So that plays a big role in who you are and the things that you actually enjoy. So next, the part of the brain, cerebellum, is it receives information from the sensory systems, the spinal cord, and other parts of the brain, and actually regulates your motor movements. It coordinates voluntary movements such as posture, balance, coordination, and speech, and that results in smooth and balanced muscular activity. So if you have a problem there, you might have spasms, or when you're trying to move, it might not be smooth because that part of your brain isn't functioning correctly. But if you're able to move your arms freely and it looks smooth, as mine do right now, that means that my cerebellum is functioning and is helping me in everything that I do. So finally, the brainstem, as I'll show you again, is just this little green portion right here. It's right at the bottom of the brain, and it is responsible for basic and vital life functions such as breathing, heartbeat, and blood pressure. So it tells your heart when to beat. It tells you when to breathe, even if you're not thinking it. It's in the back of your head, and that's how it's getting done. Without this, obviously you would not be alive, because your vital functions, or vital organs, would not be functioning. So in conclusion, each of the 3 portions of your brain, the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brain stem, hold key necessities to survival, sanity, and personality. They are not only important to life, but essential to life. The basic functions of the brain are definitive to who you are and whether you actually live or die. This organ that we have tells all of our other organs how to function without a second thought. Not to mention, it tells the rest of our bodies how to move. Which side of your brain is dominant can actually define how you think and what you're good at. So without our brain, you and I would not be here and would not be who we are today.